See what happens. All right. Welcome, guys. So let me just pull up my PowerPoint. Anyone want to share anything from yesterday? How are you all doing? Great. Okay. And if you didn't have a chance to watch yesterday, totally cool. We'll have a bit more fun today. I've got this on one of my first slides. As I said yesterday, I try to record these just with my video. And I was looking at yesterday's recording video to everybody. I was like, what's going on? For those of you who've been hanging out with me more intimately in my group containers, I've been having some computer issues. So I bought this new fancy computer called a Windows 11, which is different than for those of you computer people, which I don't know anything about computers. Different from my Chromebook, which is different than my computer before that. And this computer records Zoom differently. So it may appear that it's everyone's face again, and in which case it is, I apologize. I was doing tech work for about half an hour before we started. I don't know if it worked. So just so you know, I may have messed up my tech again, but the recording will be here. The audio will be here. Hopefully my video will be here. So we'll see what happens. Let's open the PowerPoint. Like I warned you yesterday, lovingly warned you, we're going to be working a little bit more with judgment today. Okay, so that's what we're going to be playing with today, which is a lot deeper of a topic. Like I said to you yesterday, we've got 7 classes together. Each of them are building the fundamental building blocks of the course. And somebody messaged me asking me if I could bring my course in, so I did. This is the one that I own, and it's got 3 different sections. It's got the preface, the text, the workbook, the manual for teachers, and then 2 other sections at the back. So it's a pretty thick one. There are multiple versions where you can just get the text, you can just get the manual, you can just get the teachers. So I have it all in one. Okay. You don't have to get that one, obviously. And you don't even have to buy it because you can get it for free online. So just the person who messaged me, I hope that helps you, that that's the one that I have. All right, let me put up my PowerPoint and I'll stop talking in a second. So let's get going with that. So share tech stuff. I'm laughing at myself right now, just so you know. All right, so we're going to dive in today into the inner temple, day 2. Okay, perfect. So welcome, everybody. Thank you again for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your inner call, listening inside. And again, the housekeeping that I had written down is my apologies for the recording yesterday. Not sure what I did. I thought I figured it out, but who knows? If you weren't here yesterday, everything's about anonymity. Your audio may be heard, but by the law of one, the most important thing for my work is vulnerability. So the more vulnerable you can be, the more you're going to get out of it. So just FYI on that one. Okay, so what do I got here? As we begin, let's settle back into where we were yesterday, that place of the inner temple. So if you want to close your eyes, go ahead. And just settle into those words, inner temple, inner temple, inner temple. And just notice what starts to happen in your body. And maybe with the eyes closed, take those deep breaths in and out. And with your eyes closed, if you know where your chakras are, that would be helpful for this next exercise. If you don't worry about it. Take a focus of your mind up towards your 6th and 7th chakras. That's your forehead and up. Focus your mental awareness up there. Using the affirmation, I am sinless. I am sinless. I am sinless. And just keep breathing. Now moving down from the 6th and 7th chakra, take your focus down to your throat and saying the affirmation, I am holiness. I am holiness. I am holiness. And now take it down to your heart and solar plexus. So your 3rd and 4th chakra, center of your body. Innocence. 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 And drop down to the 1st and 2nd chakra. And spend time in the energies of purity. I am purity. I am purity. Good. Pure. Good. Starting at the top again, we go sinless, holiness, innocence, and purity. SHIP. So just keep scanning it, starting at the top. Sinless, holiness, innocence, purity. And just keep breathing into that. That is who I am. Staying here with the breath. Sinless, holiness, innocence, purity. Keep breathing. Nice work. Staying here for 4 or 5 breaths. And then when you're ready, starting to return. The whole idea of the inner temple is to make that the journey in here. Sinlessness, holiness, innocence, purity. Okay. All right. So yesterday, we took a quick look back at 2025. For those of you who weren't here or were here, we talked about what things we want to change. We talked about the emotion behind it. We looked at 2026. We said, what do I want to be? What do I want to create? What's the new emotion? We looked at the definition of the ego, the spirit, miracles. We did a very simple process of seeing things differently. And now, I have a spelling mistake there. Now I want to ask you, what did you learn from yesterday? Use the chat box. What did you learn? Super important part of the class, guys. I will repeat this many times. What did you learn? And use the chat box. The reason teachers use this is because it makes your mind go, oh yeah, that is what I'm cemented into. So if you're having a coffee with a friend of yours, and you went to this crazy Dr. Divi's class and she said to you, what did you do at 2 o'clock yesterday? And you said what you learned, what would you say? So I'll give you a minute and just share that in before I layer it to deeper. I want to give you guys a minute. What did you learn yesterday? Motivation? Thanks, Michaela. Trust the process. Great answer, Kelly. Great answer. What else did you learn? I'm not the body. Great, Francis. I need to practice the observer. Bang on. What else? Great, Presley. There's no small or big miracle. It doesn't have to be that intense. Great one, Jamie. Yeah, really good. Give you guys another minute. What else did you guys learn yesterday? Inner wisdom. Great, Denise. Yeah, inner wisdom is always there. Great. Amazing. Ego versus spirit. Yeah, Susie, that's a big one. It's a really big one. That's a big one that we work again more of it with today. All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint and see what I wrote down. Okay, perfect. So you guys were paying attention, which is awesome. All right, so today we're going to go a little bit deeper and we're going to have a different definition of miracle. I'm going to try to give you a different one every day. So this is another one. If you ever study the course or you join me in January, the beginning is the 50 principles of miracles. Okay, we'll be talking about it in January as well. So I gave 2 yesterday. Miracles are shifts in perception from fear to love. And I gave you a second one. If miracles aren't occurring, something's going wrong. This is another one. Miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. In this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. Everything that comes from love is a miracle. I love what Dana wrote. The self-reflection of what I am attracting everything outside of you is you. Great reflection. Okay. So if you take what Dana said and apply to what I just said, that miracles are expression of love, if we're attracting in ourselves all the time, then what if you were holding only love? What would you attract in? So just something to think about. Put those 2 and 2 together. So today we're going to be looking at judgment and how it impacts us. To begin to unpack judgment, I'm going to warn you, it's going to take some time. It's going to take willingness. It's going to take you seeing the impact of judgment on you and a deep desire to want a deeper healing and shift. Okay. It's going to take some work, and not that it's impossible. It's going to take some layering. That's all. So let's do a chat box. And don't laugh at these questions. How much do you charge? Just a percent number. For those of you in my group coaching, I ask it all the time. What percent do you judge? What percent do you do this? Just a self-reflection. And if you don't know, put 10 to 50%. Say, I don't know. Great. Who do you judge? Yourself, others? And what do you judge about? Do I judge about body, personality, how they live, the decisions they make, their parenting? What do you judge about? Yeah, nice one, Dana. What if I only led with love? And that's what the course is all about. That's what the inner temple is all about, right? Okay, Natalie wrote 30% both self and others. Amazing. So Natalie and Presley are the only two that judge. I'm joking. Both and all, mostly if they're doing something right. So it's the right, wrong. Denise writes lots, 90%, then I catch myself. So again, who do you judge? Myself, others, and what? You guys haven't answered what about? What do I judge about? Body image, what they look like, how they raise their kids. Both self and others, right, Kate's, mostly around physical ability and health. Great. Give you guys another minute. What else do you judge about? 80 self, body, and behavior and others. Amazing. So this is not on the slide, but I'm curious. What do you think? Do you think it would be possible to live life with less judgment? I'm not going to say no. I'm just going to ask less. Do you believe it's capable to live your life with less judgment? I'll see what you guys write. Do you believe it's possible? Logan writes 60% judgment of people's life, cognitive abilities. I'm not going to read all of them. And he writes myself, how they treat others. Logan writes, yes, it's possible. Thank you. Susie wrote a really great point that the closer I am to the person, the more judgment it brings. Okay. Dana wrote, I judge a lot on how motivated people are. Great. Okay, so we're just seeing what we do. These aren't on the slides either, but this question that the Divine Mothers bring in is, ask them, do they think judgment impacts them? What do you guys think? And if it does, if you write yes, how does it impact you? Curious what you guys say. Jamie wrote, yes, it impacts me. How? How would it impact you? How does it impact you? Curious what you guys think. And he's right. Yes, it's impacted me. It isolates me, writes Logan. Great. The decisions I make, great. It keeps separation. Great, Leslie. Because I know Presley writes, I guilt myself out. I feel guilty when I judge. Great. So we're getting a lot of guilt from the judgment. Great. Great. Makes me feel bad. Great, Susie. Amazing. All right. So you guys are getting this. Let's keep going here. Let me put the slides back on. Are you open? Are you open that it's only the ego that judges? That's part one of the question. And are you open that the ego judges to keep separation between you and another alive? Are you open that it's a safety blanket for the ego to keep you and somebody else separate? Are you guys open to that? Yes, no. Kind of not. Yes, we got some yeses. Amazing. Thanks, Christina, amazing. We got some yeses. Thank you. Are you open? The next question, and I think Dana alluded to this. A safety blanket. I love it, David. Are you open that all judgment is self-judgment? Yes or no? Are you open to that? Do we have a bit? Yeah, we have an advanced group. Okay, you guys are kicking it. Okay, amazing. Are you open that judgment only hurts ourselves? Open to that? Okay, got some yeses. Great. Okay, again, to release judgment takes time, willingness. The biggest one is seeing the impact of the pain on you and a deep, deep, deep desire to release. Okay. Okay. And then the concepts that I'm about to teach are going to make more sense, but be open that the ego does not want to let go of the judgment, not because the ego is evil, because it's not. It's just afraid. You open to that? Are you open to that before I keep going? Are you open to that, guys? See Susie's head nodding. You guys are open to that a little bit? Yeah, thanks, Jamie. So we have to know that the ego is not a bad thing. It's just really afraid, so it's going to hold on like no tomorrow. Okay. And again, it thinks it's keeping you safe. So it's individual for each of us, and we hold judgment for different reasons, like an onion layer, for different stories. I'm not pushing you to release judgment, but you have to first start by being open that it is possible. Be open that spirit does not judge. Be open that the judgment is blocking a miracle. Make sense? Okay, I got some nods. Thanks, guys. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go a little deeper. Judgment is a normal response from the five senses, the ego's favorite thing. Okay. So we are not judging ourselves, but the normalcy, I watched spelling mistakes here, which is great. The normalcy of judgment is crazy, the idea of being in a human body, because it blocks miracles. The biggest thing I find judgment does is it takes up space in my energy body. It takes up space in my mind. It takes up space. I only have so much space. Is that fair? Curious, what do you guys think? Is that fair? It just blocks space and it gets tiring after a while. And if you're open, I know a lot of you guys said yesterday that there's some health issues going on. Judgment gets stuck in the fascia of the body and it actually makes us sick because the only thing that makes us sick is the emotion of guilt. And judgment is a form of guilt. Breathe into that for a sec. And just say, yes, this is landing. No, this is landing. Divi, go to Mars. Divi, explain more. Tell me what's coming up for you guys. Because the funniest thing is when I create the slide deck, the Divine Mother comes in and starts talking while I'm presenting it. And she's like, she says, stop the screen and say, is this landing? Yes, so true, right, Denise? It's landing. Thanks, Dana. It's challenging for us to think about because we think that everything is of the body. I was at the gym earlier today and I was overhearing conversations. My knee is blown. This is that. That's that. I'm like, if you only knew that your body is just a reflection of your mind, you could heal anything like that. Like that. But most people think their body is over here and their mind is over here and they're distinct things. But the body is a reflection of the mind and that's it. And the only thing that holds illness in the body is the emotion of guilt. And guilt has so many different ways of taking it on. Those in the group coaching tonight, we're going to dive into that deeper. But judgment is a form of guilt, and the five senses love it. Okay. Divine Mother says, keep going. So I'll go back to my slide deck. Give me a sec here. Okay. So this is landing. Okay. You guys are saying this is open, so I don't need to ask you this question. You're with me? Okay, cool. So perception is from the five senses. Okay, say it differently. Perception from the ego is of the five senses. So when I see, I hear, I touch, I smell, it's all the five senses. And it always interprets to the past. It experiences fear, it experiences comparison, and experiences judgment. Make sense? And just so you guys know, I can see you guys. So if you guys can give me the occasional thumbs up, then I know you guys are still with me. Make sense? Cool. Amazing. I know somebody, yeah, I don't know what's happening with my computer if you can see me or not, but I don't think you can, but that's fine. Okay. So perception, this thing the ego senses do can really take us down a swirl. And that's why so many of our adult lives mirror our childhood life. So the example I put, you don't have to read all my words, I'll just describe it. The example I put down is this. Let's say you have a mother or father wound and your mom was really mean to you or your dad was really mean to you. Now, and that happened from 0 to 10, 0 to 20, whatever. Now you're 60 years old and you find yourself in similar relationship dynamics that you did with your mother or father. You went to counseling, you realize, oh shit, I married my dad. Oh my God, I'm in the same relationship with my mother. Oh my God, no wonder I don't have girlfriends. And like you in this rabbit hole. Why is that occurring? It's because perception is the ego's best friend. And the perception is going to constantly look at the external world with that childhood pain. And that gets stuck in our subconscious. So if it's stuck deep in our subconscious, then as an adult, we keep creating it over and over and over and over and over again. Can anyone relate to that? Anyone relate to that? Does that make sense? Got it? I see some nods, heads up and down. Is that tracking a little bit? Yes, kind of. Okay, good. Thanks, Presley. Okay, it's tracking. And we can do the work of our awareness on it, but the pain stays alive in us until our perceptions are truly forgiven with light. And that's what we'll spend some time on today. It is why I always say the mind cannot heal the mind. Only spirit or the divine can heal the mind. So important to get. The mind cannot heal the mind. Only love can heal the mind. Okay. All right. So the deeper work is owning our misperceptions. And I have something really important in brackets here. A misperception doesn't like, let's just say your dad hit when you were a kid and you're like, F you, Divi, my dad was mean. I'm not saying that was a misperception. I'm saying it was a perception different than spirit. Does that make sense to you guys? A misperception, this slide is saying You didn't perceive incorrectly, but you perceived differently than spirit. And all of those misperceptions that are different than spirit are going to create pain, fear, and anger. Got it? Then to go through the next two things, which I will in a few minutes here, it takes time for the ego and nervous system because it insists on the truth of your experience as a child. Okay. How is this landing? What's coming up for you guys? What's the resistance? What's landing? What's not? How are you guys doing? Got some yeses. We got some nos. How are you doing? I'm just telling you the Divine Mother's telling me to pause right now. So I listen to her most. How are you guys? Just tracking a little bit. Tracking, Francis? We got a yes from Presley. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. Chest is tightening, so it's definitely tracking. Great, Dana. Not getting that last bit. It's okay, Susie. I'm gonna break it down in a minute. Don't worry. Okay. It's tracking for some, not everybody though. Okay, great. Okay, amazing. Can I go through it again? Great, Natalie, I will. Okay. So as a child, I'll use an example. As a child, I'll give you actually a Divi example. Okay. As a child, can you guys see me? Just out of curiosity, can you see my face? Okay, thank God. I don't know what's going on with the recordings. As a child, I was my dad's emotional caregiver. Make sense? My dad hadn't done much emotional work. I was the youngest of four. I was the one who could make him smile. So like if I could see his mood go off, I could do something and make him smile. I marry men exactly like that. It's a great habit I have, right? So that keeps my body in a form of almost defense. Like the words that go in my mind are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Can anyone relate to that one? Anyone have that similar? Thank you, Eddie. Okay, I'm not the only one. So then that keeps it gives me back pain if I get like that. Okay, it gives me chest pain if I get like that because I'm always kind of like this. So technically that was, if I use the words from the slide, that was a misperception. Even though my dad would have his moods, I was always safe. And I have a misperception that my worth is if he's okay. Got me? Got it, Natalie? Got it? So that's it, because my worth is connection to spirit. So if I don't do personal work and I don't have the awareness and I don't heal it, then in my marriages, I'm always taking care of them and forgetting me. And that's why I developed back pain. Got it? And the back pain went away when I started to go, oh, it's not my job. I don't need to be scared here. There's nothing happening. He's having a mood. It has nothing to do with me. When I started to get that emotional thing, then my back pain went away. Got it? But it was a misperception because spirit didn't perceive me as not safe. Only I did. Does that make sense? And I'm just going to check in with Susie. Is that tracking for you, hon? Okay, good. Thank you, Natalie, for asking that. Okay, good. She's like, the Divine Mother's like, they get it now. You guys are good. Yeah. She's like, keep going. Thank God she's around me because I'm like, do they get it? Like, she's like, yep, keep going. Because it's a really deep concept, a really, really deep concept, guys. So that's why I want to make sure. Okay. So the deeper work is to see we have these misperceptions, and it's a misperception from spirit. Keep going. Now, the mind, think of the mind as the sky. Huge sky, huge. 99.9% of it is God's mind. Less than 0.1% is the ego. 99.9 is God's mind of love. Less than 0.1% is the ego. In fact, the 0.1 doesn't even exist in God's world. The only thing that's real is that big sky. I still got you guys? 99.9%. Got it? So God's mind is 99.9% of the sky. The ego mind is less than 0.1. So the entire time that I was scared and I had to take care of my father, that was the 0.1%. The 99.9% of my mind, God's mind, which is in my mind, was always safe. But if I react because my nervous system clenches when my husband's having a bad day and I respond from the 0.1%, then I keep up the pain in my body. Got it? So the body is telling me what my reaction is doing. Got it? Okay. She's like, they get it. Keep going. And so if I go a bit deeper, there's a whole other world called God's world that you can access as you go deeper and deeper into your practice, which I actually saw in a lot of you yesterday's class when we did a bit of that deeper work. In God's world, that's the 99.9%. The quality of your life as an adult is dependent on if you grab from the 99.9% of your mind or if you grab from the 0.1%. Your nervous system is going to grab from the 0.1%. And the entire time, God's mind, which is love, is sitting there the entire time. But because of the law of free will, God will not interject the ego. You're the one who has to go, which one do I choose? Like I was saying to Presley yesterday, choose again. And the world is always a reflection of our mind. And that's what Dana had the aha of earlier. And if we want to live life from the split mind, 99.9.1, go ahead. But if I want to have joy, then I have to heal the 0.1 and let the 99% become the dominant mind that I access. She's saying to pause. The Divine Mother just said pause. How is that sitting? I got you guys. Any questions, comments about that part? I should have warned you it was going to be deeper today. I was putting the slide deck together and it took me like multiple times to put this together. But I want to check in. Is this tracking in terms of that mind? So based on my husband's example, thank you, Dana. If you use 99%, are you loving you or him? Me. And I'm not responding to him. Let's see if this lands, Dana, because he doesn't want me to respond to him. And Dana, you know my husband. He doesn't want me to respond to him. He's like, I'm just having a bad day because I'm pissed off. And it's got nothing to, I'm showing him chopping vegetables. It's got nothing to do with you. And it's not your job to fix me. So if I'm responding from God's mind, then my nervous system is responding. He's having a bad moment or a moment. I've actually gotten to the point, Dana, where I'm just like, he's having a moment. I don't even call it bad anymore. He's having a moment. So I don't respond from this fight, flight, freeze place. So my body doesn't respond. So I am responding from loving me. And I love him because I refuse to see, this is big, Dana. I refuse to see him in his 0.1%. And if I see him as his 99%, then I actually help him heal. Let me know, Dana, if that lands. I would have thought we need to heal the 99%. Oh, you're hilarious, Christina. I love that. That's, I think, why I use that visual. Okay. I'll grab you in a second, Leslie. Presley wrote, what if it's not a body response? It's an annoyance to the mind. It's the same response. Presley, it's the same response. Yeah. I relate as my husband does that. Fix my moods. Yeah. And what it takes, Susie, and we'll be working a lot about this in the Inner Temple class, it really takes good communication, right? It takes, and I have some communication skills I use, which I'm happy to teach you guys, which are like, I do things like, hey, babe, I'm willing to admit, like yesterday, we were at the gym together, Susie. And I said, okay, meet me at X time. And then I saw him in the gym and I'm like, oh, I must have missed up the time. So I rushed to our location before I got finished getting ready. And then I was texting him, going, where are you? He goes, huh? And I'm like, I thought and he goes, and he shows up, he goes, we said this time, like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then he started to internalize it. Like he made a mistake. I was like, no, babe, I'm willing to admit I messed up the time. I take full ownership. And then he didn't crunch into his old, like, oh, I'm a bad person. But it took that communication, right? Which is what when our nervous system responds, we don't communicate. And that's what a lot of marriages do, which is why we have walls up between us. Got it? What else did you guys write? Michaela wrote, I think you explained this before. And you said it's about making the pathway to God's mind bigger and making the pathway to ego narrow. Exactly, Michaela. Exactly. All right, so let me go back to Leslie. Hold on, Leslie. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 more slides because she's telling me to, and then we can see if this is landing. Okay. All right. Okay. The reason this isn't landing for some people is because it's hard to believe that slide I had 3 slides before, that there's a whole other world. It's hard to believe that there's another world outside of the world I see with my 5 senses. But that's where miracles come from. So next year, when we start working with the 50 principles of the miracles at the beginning of the book, miracles aren't trucked in from Pluto. Miracles are always sitting there. We just shifted our perception and thereby saw the miracle. Got it? But I think where I lost some of you guys is the idea that there's a whole other world. And I'm going to be honest, guys, this slide deck that I put together, it took me years to understand this. So I don't expect you all to understand it right away. But I trust the Divine Mother. She said, teach this. So I will. And if it goes over your head a little bit, just keep working with me. We'll get there. But that one of that, there's a whole other world called God's world that if you start changing your mind, you experience. When I started having the experience of it is when I was like a dog running back for more and more and more, because like, okay, so God thinks different. So my husband's having a moment. He's grouchy in Divi's eyes for a reason. Okay. Not my job to fix it, to use the same example. Okay, got that. How do I not see him as grouchy? That's the other part. He's a man standing there cutting vegetables. See how simple that was? I'm not responding to his facial response. I'm not responding to his guttural response. But when I respond to the facial response, the guttural response, I shut down. But God's mind is standing there the whole time saying, he's just a man, 6'3", cutting vegetables. See how different that is? Right? Okay. Divine Mother saying, keep going. So I'll keep going. I trust her more than I trust myself, just so you all know. Okay. What do we got next in the next screen? Okay, so this practice takes us going into our heart, and that's what we're going to work on in a few minutes here, okay? It's not an intellectual thing, it's a heart thing. And that's one thing I find about the Course. Because it's a written text, a lot of us intellectualize it, which is what in a temple we'll be doing a lot is the heart work. The heart work is something that you can't do intellectually. When I tried to study on my own, I couldn't get anywhere because it's all about dropping into your heart, which the ego does not want you to do, okay? So be open. Okay, so now I'm going to go a bit deeper. So we have Divi's perception of the ego, let's just keep using the example of husband being grumpy. Then there's another perception, which is called the right perception, which is a shift in interpretation, not in what the eyes see. Okay. It's the quiet knowing that comes from spirit. It's the quiet knowing in which when I have that quiet knowing, I have peace, I have safety, I have innocence. And even if they're still visually with the eyes, nothing's changed. I still have you guys a little bit, that there's a different perception. Your faces are all blank. Is it possible that there's a different perception in God's mind, different than the ego's mind? Oh my God, I'm losing you guys. This is so good. I got a yes from Logan. Okay. We got a yep. Thank you, Logan. Anyone else game for that? Definitely. Thanks, Jamie. Phew. I'm watching some of your faces. I'm like, their faces aren't moving. And so this is just visual. Yes, Anise, it's just visual. It's just visual. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Kate. Okay, great. 4 yeses. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So we'll keep going then. Okay. I won't look at your faces, I promise. And the truth itself is not perceived at all. Okay. This is now deeper. So there's the human perception of the ego, then there's spirit perception, then the truth of knowledge is non-dual. And it's beyond perception. Knowledge is permanent. Okay, I'm going to stop this slide for a quick second and explain this. So we're talking about 3 different levels of perception. We got the ego's perception, the 1%, and that will always cause me pain. It will always cause me fear. It will always cause me judgment. It will always cause me anger. But be open that the rest of the mind, 99%, doesn't have that same judgment. That's step 1, that there's a different perception. So there's ego perception, and then there's spirit perception. I got you there. Then we go 1 step deeper is knowledge. Knowledge is different than perception. Knowledge is knowing. And this is where I think this example will be really, really helpful. So how many of us just struggle with our worthiness? Put your hand up if you struggle with the worthiness conversation, please. Okay, got it. We got a whole bunch of hands up. Okay. So some days you think you're worthy and some days you think you're not worthy. Is that fair? Some days like, yeah, I'm worthy. And some days it's like, I suck, right? That's fair to say. And if we really get that we're, worthy one day, not worthy another day, we're always oscillating. Is that fair? And that really sucks. This slide that says knowledge, that's when you go a lot deeper. And I've seen people like Chuck, Jamie, a bunch of you, Natalie, I've seen you get it. It's deeper. It's like, no. And I might yell right now. I'm going to warn you guys because sometimes the Divine Mother, she like talks very loudly through me. She's like, no, you are a child of God, infinite worth, infinite purpose, infinite love. Believe it now or not, your choice. And your happiness level depends on that. So it goes human perception, spirit perception, and then knowledge. Knowledge is, I know, regardless of a doubt, that Presley is a child of God and a divine essence of the mother of her children. That is a knowing. So when I had chronic illnesses, there was a part of me that knew, like it had to have this like knowing that there was a version of me healthy inside of me. And that knowing is what kept pulling me along. Does that make sense? So knowledge is outside of perception. Knowledge is outside of duality. Divine Mother saying to pause. Check in. How are they doing? Comments, questions, what's coming up for them? Before I take you into practice. How are you guys? How are you feeling? Is this tracking? What's coming up for you guys? It's hard to follow. Thanks, Leslie. Perfect. Yeah, this is really deep, guys. I didn't expect me to teach judgment today, and I didn't expect to. But Leslie, when I do the process in a second, let's see what happens. I got a phenomenal minus. Thank you. What else are you guys finding? Things are clicking. Great, Jamie. So that is the instinct, knowledge. Knowledge is instinct. It's intuition. It's outside of duality. So so a lot of religions are dual religions, like Catholicism is duality. Then there's non-dual religions like Hinduism, right? Which is like, this is the truth. In the West, we have a lot of dual religions, and along the East, we have a lot of non-dual religions. Non-duality is the idea that you are worthy outside of your form, outside of this, and you can call it instinct, but it's knowing. Does that make sense? Like, it's knowing. So when somebody dies, it's a knowing that their soul goes on. It's a knowing of our worth. It's a knowing of our love. It's a knowing of our truth. Here's another example. So sometimes, I'll get upset at my kid, but he knows to his core that I love him. Is that fair? He knows I'd walk to the end of earth with him. He knows mom has a bad day some days. Cool. But there's a knowing is in his bones that I'll never leave his side. Does that make sense? That example? So knowledge is, so if you think of that example as a parent to a child, sure, you might have a bad day. You might yell at your kid, you might slap him, whatever. But the kid usually knows that their parent is their person. Is that fair? Not all. And this isn't always the case for some people. I just realized when I said that might have been wobbly, but that's okay. So there's a knowing, depending on the parent-child relationship, of safety, depending on the relationship. I'll use this example. Similarly, God's relationship to us as the children is a knowing of safety. And sometimes parents do a lousy job. And if parents did a lousy job, then your source is God. Then your knowledge of the safety is there. Does that help a bit? If your parents were really, okay, that it? Cool. What else did I write? Kali said he's doing good. How is knowledge different spiritual? It's totally different, Francis. So spirit perception is still has a bit of a wobble to it in the sense of it is, let's just say it different. She's saying say it that way. It's just like a deeper non-dual. Spirit perception is like love and softer, but knowledge is like non-dual of just like is. I'm getting confirmation of thoughts I've been having, writes Chuck. One time I experienced a dragon energy. You're being light, God damn it. I love that. I love that. I love that. I get it, but it's triggering anxiety. Great, Kate. That's great. And you know what? I'll tell you, honey, why it's triggering anxiety. Because right now you don't believe it about yourself. So that delta, the ego, the 1%, it's got your nervous system hijacked. And the 99% of you, you know on some levels is true, but you just haven't practiced it enough. So you've given, let's say you have 4 million thoughts in your life. You've given 3.9 million to the ego and less than 0.1, whatever's left over to spirit. Makes sense? And that's why it's triggering, which is great. It's great. It's telling you where the delta is. It's awesome. It's awesome. I know I'm weird, right? I like people getting anxious. Okay, comments before I keep going. Susie, you're good. Just want to make sure we're good. Okay, cool. Is this a little too deep? I want to check in. Did I make the slides too deep? No, kind of, maybe not. I'm watching your guys' faces. It's hilarious. No worries, Kali. Thank you, Kali. Okay, good. I'm just like, okay, thanks, Dina. Okay, Leslie, I got a yes from Leslie. Cool. All right, well, all good. Okay, we'll just keep going then. Knowledge is the whole ocean of data. Spirit is like a river. Thank you, Logan. Logan is like the best example visual. Logan said, knowledge is the whole ocean of data. Spirit is like a river delivering the data to your area. Great, great analogy. All right, let's do a practice. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And just settle into your body. Take a long breath in and take a slow breath out. Take a deep breath in. Take a quiet breath out. Let's just spend a few moments being here now. Inhale and exhale. Belly rises and belly falls. Allow your body to be still and just breathe. With your eyes closed and your mind open, welcome in a judgment that has you spiraling a little bit. Not the worst judgment of your life, but just a little judgment. And welcome that in as you breathe. Take yourself into that place in nature. Maybe the same place we went yesterday. See the visuals. The trees, the river, whatever you've got there. The waterfall. And breathe. Once you find yourself in the place in nature, settle your body and your breath there. And breathe. Welcoming in your guides, your angels, your divine support team. The energies we brought in yesterday. And breathe. And bring in the Divine Mother. Imagine that she has that beautiful silver platter in her hand that she places in front of your face, asking you to put any judgment there that you're ready to release. The judgment is a form of unforgiveness, something you're holding on to from the past. They feel like, I would love to see this differently. So place it on her platter and just keep breathing. Have that visual of the sky that less than 1% of your mind is holding on to this, but then more than 99% of God's mind has a different perception. As you place that on the platter, connect eye to eye with her and say, forgiveness, set me and everyone free from this thought. Forgiveness, set me from everyone free from this thought. I want to perceive this differently. I want a thought from the 99.9% of God's mind. As my voice gets quiet, allow the Divine Mother to do her magic. Allow her breath to enter you. Allow her energy to enter you as you continue to breathe. I am open to Spirit's perception. And if you're ready to go a little bit deeper, I'm open to knowledge. I'm open to the truth behind this. And just stay here for about 20 or 30 breaths. There we go. Some of you are releasing it. Really nice work. Deep, slow belly breaths. And you feel like you've received a shift in perception or a shift in knowing. Start to slowly bring awareness back and take a moment to thank her and thank yourself. No rush coming back. As you start to reemerge, please use the chat box and share what came up for you, something, nothing. Was there a shift in perception? Who wants to share? Just use the chat box and type in what happened for you as we did that. Got a headache. Great, Anise. Something wants to move. That's really great. Something wants to move. That's great. So something is wanting to shift. Amazing. Sleepiness, same thing, Leslie. That energy is wanting to move because sort of like we get these physical sensations because we're stuck in that 1%. And so we have this like lodging out to go to the 99%. And so we'll get these physical sensations. Jews wrote, I saw a baby crying loudly and unabashedly. Just is. Not too much. No guilt. Wow. Love that. Love that. I felt lighter when I said, I'm open to the knowledge. Beautiful, Presley. Felt a straightening of my spine and opening, like a knowing, which is non-dual. Jamie wrote, there's no mistakes. Beautiful. Relief and giving up. Beautiful. Lots of pain in the right back and the chest. Great, Kate. That's great because that's where you hold the anxiety. That's where, just like Anise and Leslie, it's like something in the physical body needs to shift so we can let the bigger in. Oh, nice, Michaela. That SHIP came in. Beautiful. Got it. Natalie, that's hilarious. That's movement. I love that. Ego struggling, wanting to let go, but feeling pulled away from spirit. I feel the battle. Great, Dina. That's a great place to start. We see it, and then if we keep returning, right, what happens? Susie wrote, open to the thought that my mother's judgment is not the truth. Yeah, that's big. My mom's stuff took a while, like layers, like I was saying, Susie, yesterday. Took a while, right? I'm going to show up one or two more slides. Um, Light filled my body. I love that. And released some feeling of not enough. Beautiful, Kali. Gave up patriarchal perception of the feminine. Beautiful. I received transmission of truth through third eye. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, guys. Just sit with that for a few minutes as I open. I just got a couple more slides that I want to share with you guys and see what happens. Okay. So what we just did in that practice was what do we do? We picked somebody to judge. We asked to perceive it differently. Okay. And we asked to possibly get the divine God's mind in us, the knowledge. And we asked for forgiveness because forgiveness is not, it's okay, dad, mom, what you did. I want to know who and what I am without that story. That's what forgiveness is. Okay. So chat box, you already did this. Okay. Here's another layer that I didn't have time to put in today's class because the Divine Mother told me not to. I might do this tomorrow. I don't know. But there's another layer of healing judgment that contains projection, perception, extension, which again, we didn't have time to do today. We might, a keyword might cover it tomorrow. So what happens between classes, I sit with the Divine Mother, I ask, what am I supposed to teach? And she creates a slide deck through me. So that's another layer of judgment, which I'll be straight with you guys. This slide, projection, perception, extension, and judgment, took me and practiced 2.5 years, no joke, no joke, to kind of get. Okay, so I get it if you guys are going, Divi, you've lost your mind. The Divine Mother told me you guys were ready for this depth level of class, but guys, it took me a long time to really, really get it. So if you're getting even like a tiny little bit, even like a little teeny hair, that's amazing. Amazing. But the 2.5 years, guys, was 100% worth it because I no longer, I shouldn't say no longer, but I no longer react like I used to with those anger, judgment walls up to partner, husband, kid, friends, whatever. Got it? Because that was worth the thinning out of the onion layer. Got it? So I've got one or two more slides. So what did you learn today? Like we started today's class, what did you learn? Use the chat box. I know, Dana, I'm excited too. It's super exciting. What did you guys learn so far? Do, 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 do. What did you guys learn? I need to have Jeopardy's soundtrack on the background. Um, Truth is not perceived. It's non-dual. Yeah, Natalie, that's a really big one. Really big one. I took up some time myself studying non-dual teachings, and it really did help me. Really helped me. A miracle is a shift perception. Great, Michaela. I feel like I'm over my head. Leslie, you're not. It's just, it's going to cement. I love you. It's just going to like trickle in. Like, give us some time. Trickle in. It's just going to trickle in. We can't, if you ask like Jamie, Chuck, even Natalie, who've been studying me for a while, Presley, it's just like it trickles, right, guys? It trickles in little teeny pieces. Wouldn't you say, Jamie, it just trickles in little bits at a time? Yeah, Jamie's like nodding her head up and down. It just trickles in a little bit of time. Also, need some trickling. Yeah, Susie, It's, if you talk to Chuck, there's a bunch of them, Chuck, Jamie, a bunch of you guys who've hung out with me a lot in my group coaching. It takes time. Knowing I love that. Don't have to explain it, just understand. Yeah, exactly. Remember to be conscious of the choice. 90% divine mind. Exactly. Amazing. All right, let me just go back and see what else I've got on my slides. So give you guys a minute. The knowledge, that's for you, Presley, today, because I struggle there and second guess, but just blindly trust because I already know. The knowing is the key. It's the next level for you, Presley, to go up, right? And like I said, it's onion layers and it takes time, right? Uh, Learning to release judgment, the knowing. Yeah, great, Denise. Judgment is a reflection of self. Great one, Collie, because that's so big, right? It's a reflection of myself and lower self, not higher self. Quick reminder of the Inner Temple class starts January 1st. The live classes for VIP start next Wednesday. People have been asking me. So again, you can either do the premium level or the VIP. It's going to make sense to continue on after this week, trust me, because there's going to be a desire to get completely what I just taught. I didn't know when I put the slide together, I didn't know that it was going to go, not that it went over everyone's head, but it was like, it was deep. But if you want to get it, trust me, the VIP classes will take you there. I guarantee you that, okay? Because you get the short videos. The weekly live classes, they are jams. They are where we combine the Divine Mother. We combine A Course in Miracles teaching, like what I'm doing here. And we have like a buddy system. You get a discount off of a workshop with me. It's a lot of fun. And if you're like really, 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 really want to dive into the deep dive today, then look at my diamond membership. It's the small group coaching. That's like that's like if you really want to dive in, like Jamie and Chuck have, Natalie have, it's like the deep dive stuff. What else do I have? Oh yeah, this is just the quarterly stuff. I talked about this yesterday. I can skip a slide. Okay, how are you guys feeling? What's coming out for you before I open the Q&A? What's coming out for you? How are you guys doing? How are you? How are you? Overwhelmed. Okay, Leslie. Okay, great. We'll be coaching in the live classes a little bit, Judes, a little bit for sure. How I've tried to set them up is mostly teaching and a little bit of coaching, but most of the coaching goes into the group coaching, mostly because I mean, Jude, you've seen me you see me coach. I can talk for like 20 minutes about one thing. But there will be a little bit, just not tons and tons like in the group coaching. I also want to share how they are. Is anyone's head hurting? Yeah, okay. I felt that. Good difference. Okay, great. Let me ask you guys a question. Is it worth it to do the inner work if you could walk around all day and have less or very few judgments? Okay, Logan, you also have a headache. Okay, I'm going to address these headaches because I'm getting one from some of you guys, so I'll address that in a second. It is worth it. Okay, so I want to share a funny story. My son, he has a 20-year-old girlfriend. I shared this yesterday. She's up from Florida, first time in Canada. So she came up on Friday. And Saturday, my husband's like, she's never been to an NHL game, never seen a hockey game in her life, didn't know the hockey rules at all. So the NHL game, we got tickets for her. We saw the Canucks play San Jose. It was a terrible game. Canucks lost terribly. It was a terrible game. But whatever. So we went. And we're sitting there, and a woman 4 seats over from me kept getting up to get drinks, like, which is fine. Had to stand up, let her go by. Had to sit down, let her go by. Probably 6 times in 2 periods. And so then at the second period, third period, she was getting up and basically stripping, like, which is fine. And she was a good dancer. She was dancing and she was stripping. So in the past, my mind would have gone, oh, there's something wrong with you, Divi. Why can't you dance like that? Why aren't you as attractive? Or my mind would have gone, sit down. Like, why are you so happy? Like, you're just drunk. I would have done one or the other. Can you relate to that one? She was a good dancer and she was wiggling her butt and she had a lot of Mike's lemonades. I don't know why she was drinking. But in that moment, I was like so grateful and joyous that she could be so happy. And I observed myself. I'm like, that's not the Divi that I know. The Divi I know would be like, what's wrong with you, Divi? Why do you have such a good body? Like, why can she dance and you can't? Or it would have gone, sit down, can't believe you're dancing all the time. There's nothing to dance. Like, how they play music? She would get up in between the periods and dance. It's actually quite funny, actually. Or in between the song, And I was like, wow, this work works. Like it's crazy, right? Because it's like in that moment, like I said to you, Presley, at a moment to choose again. The knee jerk was to like, there's something wrong here, but what's perfect? The perfect is that she's happy and she's loving. So when I ask you, is it worth it not to judge? I can tell you, somebody sitting across from you, it is. It takes work though. It takes a willingness to return and learn these tools over and over and over again, because the ego will fight you tooth and nail. Because the ego will convince you that you're not as pretty as she is, you don't have this great body, and you can't dance like that, right? So let's address the headaches that some of you guys have. Um, she's asking me to ask you, what do you guys sense it is? Because I know a few of you have it. I have a bit of it too, but that's also because I'm feeling your guys' energy. Why do you sense there's a bit of a headache for a few of us? I'll give you guys a minute. And if you don't know, just say, I don't know, and I can help you guys. I know, Anise, you said it. Logan, you said it. Tired of my own judgments. Bang on. It's what Logan said. Is the judgments get exhausting. Okay. And it's it's just like it's spiraling. Does that make sense? And so as a result, it's like cemented into it. Got it? So does pressure coming down the E crown count? Yeah, it totally counts. And the conflict, ego, and spirit, you guys are all saying the same thing. So body sensations like hate, your anxiety, Anise, the headache, Logan, the headache, are actually good. The body's wanting to release this. And it's this, I know there's another way to be. And the only way to actually be is in the heart. And I'll teach one more thing before I wrap. We're not meant to be heady people. We're meant to be heart-based people. So I know I stand here on a computer showing PowerPoints, which is super heady and boring. I get it. But it's to get you out of the head and get you into the heart and the processes. Got it. But the heart is what we're meant to be. The heart is how we create. And because we have Tabasco in our heart and pollution in our heart from our childhood wounds, we have to excavate them. And that often leads up to resistance. Any comments, questions before we wrap? How are you guys doing? And Divi apologized if it was a little too deep. I do apologize if it was, but I also don't, because she told me to put the slide deck together. I jokingly say that. And guys, when I learned these concepts at first, it was like right over my head. But then the more I just dug into them, they eventually kicked in. Yes, questions, comments before we wrap? Oh, great. Thanks, Denise. And hopefully by tomorrow, I'll figure out how to record this damn thing. What do you mean you dug into them? I had to keep studying them. I had to just keep learning them. I had to keep studying the course, keep learning it, keep learning it, keep learning it, keep learning it. And then the more I learned it, the more these aha moments started to kick in. I know I watched Chuck, Jamie, a bunch of you guys do that. The more you learn it, then it's like, okay, because the ego just holds on like no tomorrow. So if I just keep learning and learning and learning, even if I don't get it, eventually it's just like, okay, got it. But it's like the learning, eventually it's like it thins the onion layer of our thicknesses. Anything else, guys? All right, amazing. Let's do a close. Let's close our eyes. And just settle into breath. And don't worry, tomorrow I will probably come back up to shore a little bit, do something a little different. Take a few breaths. Slow, deep breaths in, long, slow breaths out. Let your body sink into the chair. Let the mind get a little bit quieter as we pause here for rest. Knowing that the Divine Mother is here and she will escort you through the rest of your day. Take 4 or 5 more breaths. Then when you're ready, you can move your fingers, roll your shoulders, stretch your arms. Go to open your eyes. Amazing, guys. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a beautiful night, guys. Enjoy.